Hello, folks. Welcome to an episode of Whiskey Calling here. It's Monday night. I thought, why not shoot a video here? So, pull up, grab a drab of your own, and kind of enjoy it. If you got one of these yourself, pour it yourself. I want to feature tonight the Glenlivet Caribbean Reserve. There it is, folks. My good friend Byron, he brought it over the other night, and we shared around the campfire with my brother as well, and we really enjoyed this. It was a nice bottle. Give you a little details on this. It's a single malt Scotch whiskey. It says here sweet and tropical notes, selectively finished in barrels that held Caribbean rum. Isn't that interesting? Yes. Yes, it says in 1824, George Smith established his distillery in the remote and wild valley of Glenlivet. Ever since, his smooth-flowing whiskey has been regarded as the definitive single malt Scotch whiskey, established 1824. And so, I never really tried Glenlivet before, actually. I think maybe I've had maybe one dram in a bar or something. I think they're more kind of common. I think Glenlivet 10 or Glenlivet 12, I think. But anyways, this bottle is interesting, and it kind of has that rum finish to it. Obviously finishing rum barrels. So I've already pre-poured a glass here. That's what we're looking at. It's got kind of a nice color to it. I don't think it says anything about being non-chill filtered or whether or not it's got skill that distillery matured and bottled in Scotland. I don't see anything here in the bottle about whether or not it's chill filtered or if it's natural color or anything like that. So, but anyways, at least out of the bottle, it's kind of got this sort of a color to it. Kind of a nice looking color, actually, kind of a dark golden brown. Let's see what it smells like. Kind of a misty, moldy smell. And when I say that, I mean in the best possible way. Sometimes with some whiskeys, I'll get almost a moldy, dark, dank, moldy basement shoe. And I know it sounds ridiculous, but in a really nice way. Like it's kind of, it sounds terrible, but I enjoy that. I really do. It's kind of got that, almost maybe a leathery note on the nose. Wet leather. Maybe a little bit of a maybe spicy plum sauce. That's probably more just in my brain because I know it was in rum barrels. But let's have a sip. It's got a nice kind of a nice kind of mellow start. Then it's kind of got a bit of spice kicks in, and then a really nice sort of almost say a brown sugary sweetness. Brown sugar sweetness, and you don't hear that too often with scotches. A lot of times with scotches, you're thinking a little bit more like a bourbon will have more of a brown sugar for me. But this has got kind of a little bit of that hitting me right now, interestingly enough. So let's have another sip and see what this tastes like. You know what? There's sort of a lightness to it. There's also a kind of a rich texture to it. I find it's got a relatively rich texture, more than you might expect in a, well, just, I don't say more than you might expect. I don't know what I was going to expect from the Glenlivet. I've never really had too much of it. Like I said, maybe I've had one shot of it in a bar one time. You know, just the regular Glenlivet, but this has got a nice rich texture to it, actually. I'm kind of enjoying this at the moment. Let's have another sip. Yeah, there's almost a little bit of a, you know, there's almost a little bit of a cinnamon spice. It's almost as if you were, I don't know, if you were to sprinkle cinnamon brown sugar on top of an apple pie. That's what I'm getting right now. Which is very delightful, actually. Which obviously would be very delightful. Boy, yeah, it's really, really nice. I like this. Okay, well, and as sort of a comparison here, I decided to contrast it with Pike Creek. This is a Canadian whiskey. And this, interestingly enough, I believe also has some rum influence of some kind here. Yeah, also finished in rum barrels, it says here. See there, it says finished in rum barrels. And so I kind of thought this would be an interesting comparison, since both have that in common between these two, right? You know, this is selectively finished in barrels that held Caribbean rum. So, and I gotta say, it's interesting to think about this for a second, as I just said that out loud. Caribbean rum, of course, I really enjoy Caribbean rum. I mean, who doesn't? You know, it's got that kind of. Sometimes I find it's got a little more of a spice to it, and boy, I'm picking up that spice and texture in the Glenlivet. I'm really, really enjoying that, actually a lot. And so we're gonna compare it to this. I can still taste it as I'm talking. It's a very, you know, they mentioned tropical in here. I think sweet and tropical, and I am getting that right now. I gotta admit, there's a sweet tropical feel to it. You know, as we're sitting here, we're here in Canada. It's getting a little bit colder. It's sort of late September, but there's a bit of a storm outside right now, and it gives you that almost a little bit of a, although it's not hot here, you know, a tropical storm feeling almost. So it's kind of drinking this Glenlivet at the same time is kind of seems fitting right now. But so we'll see what this Pike Creek Canadian whiskey tastes like in comparison. I should mention maybe the alcohol volumes between these two as well. The Glenlivet is a 40%, so it's a straight 40% on the Glenlivet. And this Pike Creek Canadian is 42%. And so yeah, and so saying here, you know, I should also mention, I guess the Glenlivet, I don't see an age statement on here at all. There's no age statement from what I can see at first glance here. But this Pike Creek does have a 10-year age statement on it. See that there? And I'll just give you a little bit of a background of what it at least says in the bottle here. Pike Creek is aged in oak casks in a non-climate controlled warehouse, exposing it to Canada's severe temperature swings. This creates an incredibly smooth yet complex whiskey, which is then finished in rum barrels to bring out notes of molasses and vanilla. This will be interesting. We'll see what this is like. Kind of maybe compare the colors of this too. This is doesn't say anything about coloring here from what I can see. But yeah, let's give this a fair shot here. Yeah, it's got kind of, you know, not too dissimilar of colors. This, I guess, is a little more of a coppery. This is a little darker, a little more golden. Gold dark, light dark. If that makes sense. Or maybe a bit of a lighter hue. Anyways, let's see what it smells like here. So yeah, this one, I gotta say, when you smell it, a little more of that rum comes out a little quicker. I'm gonna smell the two beside each other. Yeah, definitely a spicier, more muted nose on the Glenlivet. And the Pike Creek here, definitely more of a robust, fruity plum note, for lack of a better word. You can really smell kind of almost a sweet sugary plum. A little sweeter than what an actual plum might smell like. Almost like a sugar plum sauce smell to it. So yeah, and nice, and nice. It's also got a bit of a upkick. You know, I swear I do smell a little bit of vanilla in here. Can't remember if this said vanilla or not. I think it did, and I think I'm smelling vanilla. Yeah, it says notes of molasses and vanilla. Yeah, it definitely can smell the vanilla. Anyways, folks, so I really hope you're enjoying your dram yourself. Canadian, Scotch, a Canadian whiskey, a Scotch whiskey, or anything else that you happen to have in your cabinet you're enjoying tonight. Cheers. Wow. This one is a little bit more punchy, and by that I mean it just got a few more quick jabs through the journey. Glenlivet was had a bit of a almost a rich texture to it that kind of took over in a very nice way. This one is a little bit of a rougher ride, punch here, punch there, and it's very expressive. I would say this one's a little more expressive, and very. It's interesting. It's a bit more of an expressive version of kind of that plum taste to it. Let's try it again. Yeah, as you settle into it, it's fruity. It's a little bit more fruity. It's a little bit more. The fruit's a little more tangible, but it does have a little bit of a spice there, almost a peppery. You're talking about molasses. I'm not quite picking up a molasses connection here at the moment, but kind of a fun, fruity. Sometimes you almost have like a fruit salad, kind of like a classic fruit salad with the dark grapes and maybe a little honey melon in there, maybe maybe a little bit cantaloupe in there, and maybe some piece or two of plum or peach. When you have something like that, that's kind of got that mix of those sorts of flavors is really what I'm getting here. And sometimes, when you have something like that where it's a grape and a piece of cantaloupe and a piece of honeydew, maybe a piece of plum all in your mouth, kind of at the same time or within kind of a 30 to 90 second range of a couple bites, that's what you're getting here. You're getting kind of a very, very pleasant fruit, fruit spicy salad almost. Try it again. I do really appreciate whiskey with a little bit of rum sensibilities, Asian rum casks. And I sure hope I'm not wrong on this, but I think Teeling, one of the Teelings I've tried had a little bit of that too, and I really enjoyed it. I hope I'm not wrong on that. But I mean, if I am wrong on it, I love Teeling, that I've tried. So it's really good. But it just reminds me of that a little bit. But yeah, boy, it is a nice combination when you're in the mood for it. You're not always in the mood for it, but boy, it's a nice kind of a mix in there for sure. But anyways, I'm going to go back to the Glenlivet again, just for fun, as a sort of a kind of a second back try here as well. Yeah, again, I think the Glenlivet, it's got a little bit more of a richer texture, just a little bit more muted, a little bit more grounded, you know. Whereas the Pike Creek has got a little bit more of an adventurous side to it. And it's funny, you know, I mentioned this, but the Pike Creek does have a 10-year age statement, which you think, hang on a second here, that might be a little bit more of a settled in version, whereas the Glenlivet does not have an age statement. But it almost tastes like the Glenlivet tastes older than the Pike Creek. And I'm not saying one's better than the other. I mean, older is not necessarily better at all whatsoever. But the Glenlivet is a little more settled, almost, in its flavor profile, where the Pike Creek is a little bit more adventurous. But, you know, I'll tell you something. These two side by side are excellent kind of little flight experiment. You know, if you ever happen to have these two on your shelf, try them together. You know, you try them back and forth. I mean, it's a really, really nice experience, actually. Especially if it was sort of a, you know, I can imagine, you know, being on a tropical beach, you know, a little bit of that late night storm coming in, that kind of a thing. I got to tell you, this is really a delightful Monday night, for heaven's sakes. You know, I had a friend stop over and we kind of had one, and you know, had a whiskey or two, and kind of got me trying this one. And I thought, you know, hey, let's shoot a video here tonight. So, folks, you know, hope you enjoyed my thoughts here. Let me know what you guys think, and we'll see you again soon. Hey, I'm heading out to Victoria here, in a few days for a couple weeks. Gonna shoot some videos out there. Should be a lot of fun. See if I can find some interesting local whiskeys out there. You know, Victoria, BC, Canada, and you know, should be a lot of fun out there. And so you should see a few more videos from me maybe, because I'm on holiday. So look forward to that, folks, and we'll see you again soon, and have a great night.